Well, good morning and welcome to today's video from Yoker Evangelical Church. Today it's Friday the 18th of December, and in our Bible readings this morning we read 2 Chronicles chapter 21 and Revelation chapter 9. In this video I'm going to take a look at the final verses of Revelation chapter 9 because I think they answer a big question that a lot of Christians often find themselves asking. Have you ever found yourself asking, how can a God who is just and who is fair, as the Bible tells us he is, punish people in hell forever? How can it be fair that people who have sinned in this life, briefly for a few years, end up being punished forever in hell? Where is the proportional punishment there? Why is that a reasonable response? How can that be fair and right? Well, I think chapter 9 helps us to see the tragic reason why that is the case. First, we have to understand that God sends punishment to drive people back to himself. As we read about these seals being opened in Revelation and all this imagery of the punishment and the plagues that come on the people, we have to remember these are intended to drive people to God. God is using these to turn people back to himself. It is actually meant to be a kindness that people are shown the evil of their ways so that they will turn to God. And yet these unfolding punishments should drive people back to God. And yet we see in chapter 9 that it does not. If you've got a Bible, look with me at chapter 9, verse 20 and 21. The rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues still did not repent of the work of their hands. They did not stop worshipping demons and idols of gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood, idols that cannot see or hear or walk. Nor did they repent of their murders, their magic arts, their sexual immorality, or their thefts. As people see punishment and punishment piling on, what should happen is that they are turned away from their evil ways and turned towards God. That they are shown why what they have been worshipping is wrong and why following God is right. And yet we see there they do not repent. They continue to worship their idols. As all the punishment is going on, people do not see that God is calling them back to himself. They simply bury further into their sin. And that is the tragic reality of those in hell under God's judgment. The tragedy of hell is that it is full of people who will never repent and who continue to call evil God's name. People who are trapped eternally rebelling against God. It is a horrendous picture of what it means to sin against God forever. And this makes me feel two ways. First, immensely grateful that God does save some. Naturally, we are all rebels. Naturally, we would throw our lot in with these people who rebel against the Lord. Naturally, we too would not repent. Yet it is by the free gift of grace that comes through Christ that we have turned back to God. It is not our own choice, it was not our own will and wisdom that caused us to repent. If you are a Christian, it is because God worked through your life to bring you to himself. He changed your natural state of rebellion to one of loving him. It is only through him that we are forgiven. I am grateful reading this passage that God has saved me, and I am driven to evangelize more. As we see this picture of a doomed eternity, we should long more and more for people to hear the good news, the gospel that Jesus Christ saves people from hell. As we read more about what hell actually means, we should see what a doomed eternity it is and long more for people to come to know the love of Christ. It should move us to do something about it. It should drive us to go and tell. And this Christmas, I will be prayerfully thinking about how I can talk to people more and more about Jesus, that they too might hear this gospel, that they might be saved. I hope you have a great day today, and God bless.